This is Lugradowski. We are changed to work here in Las Vegas, Nevada, here at Freedom Fest, and I'm joined by the one and only Christopher Green of AMTV. Hard hitting and in your face is his tagline. He is another kind of just maverick in the independent media game. He's been doing a lot of great coverage of all the news happening nationally and internationally on his channel on AMTV, Alternative Media Television.
Hard hitting and in your face, America.
And we're here, obviously Trump has been a major topic for a lot of alternative media, but it also divided alternative media. A lot of people either idolize him to the extent where they just become their kind of PR machine for the Trump campaign, and others really dislike him. But I think Christopher has been calling it very fairly when it comes to Trump. And the major debate that a lot of people are having in our kind of demographic is Trump establishment or is he not? What do you think?
I think it depends on how you define establishment. I think Donald Trump is corporate establishment, and I think there's a difference. I do not think that he's political establishment at all. I really do believe he's a maverick. I think he's got a tremendous ego. He's a little bit of an asshole. I mean, I admit that. I think I was one of the first people who even said that. But I think that the country in America is demanding what's politically incorrect. Same. There's a reason that there was 13 plus GOP potential candidates, because I don't think the Republican Party had any idea who would be the presumptive nominee. So you have a long shot. Donald Trump is now the people's choice because they've demanded it. So I think, Rand Paul and these guys have to look themselves in the mirror, because what they're doing isn't working. What the GOP party has been doing isn't working. So yes, Donald Trump is a media guy. You're fired. He's the apprentice. But is politics not a TV show? It kind of is nowadays. Yeah. Reality television, House of Cards on Netflix. I mean, it's almost a mere image, the fiction is, of what we're seeing in real life. Yeah.
He's kind of taken advantage of that social media craze, and he's been on Twitter all the time and using it very skillfully to go after Hillary. And I think a lot of people, because Hillary's just so corrupt and just so... I can't even say her name. Hillary Clinton. Sorry, that automatically people go to him. But, some of the things he says, like when he thinks NATO is irrelevant, when he questions 9/11, when he says Bush knew about 9/11, when he wants to release the 28 pages, when he wants to audit the Federal Reserve, people are like, wow, he finally is the anti-establishment savior that we want.
Sure, something I wanted to say about Pence. I'm not 100% convinced yet that is the VP pick. Remember, Donald Trump is a media maverick. He's testing the waters. If for some reason the public support went the other way, he'd probably pull Pence off the ticket. Yeah. I think he's testing. I mean, honest to God, I'm not 100% convinced yet Pence is the pick. It could be somebody else.
He did tweet it in the Twitterverse. It is real. But there's even contention because Pence, his VP pick that he tweeted about, he is really like the epitome of the establishment. He is a right-wing conservative, religious Christian who is funded by the Koch brothers, who was tied in with Ted Cruz, was originally supporting, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, and was really behind that line. And there's always these conflicting reports, because now there's reports saying that Trump actually tried to change his mind with his political advisors just last night when he was making the decision, and tried to change and make sure that it wasn't Pence. Some people are saying that he was bullied into this. So there's always this kind of tug and war where it's really unsure where Trump stands. And to me, some of the things that he said when it comes to torturing people, when it comes to killing people, when it comes to expanding libel laws, when it comes to federalizing and militarizing the police, when you look at those actions, or going into a country and just taking in their oil, it's like, whoa, wait, hold on, because that rhetoric is extremely dangerous as well. We have Don King also walking past us right now. But what do you think of some of the controversial, I'm surprised he's not president, what do you think about some of the controversial measures that Trump is pushing that really do push the kind of status quo establishment?
Well, I think he's right about Islamic terrorism, banning all Muslims. I mean, take a look at what's happened in Nice, France, for example, just, what was it, yesterday. This is happening more frequently, more often, and until we get things under control here in America, why not halt immigration? So I think, honestly, it's kind of proven Donald Trump right. That's my opinion.
We will see what will happen, because honestly, I've been trying to call it as fair as I could, and I'm like, oh, I really like that. Oh, that's pretty good. And I'm like kind of in this weird position. Also internationally, it's also interesting to see how he's been reacting to China, how he's been kind of relating to Putin. What do you think about all his kind of international policies that he's been kind of talking about really hasn't proved?
Well, I think America is viewed as weak. Like, we're pussies in the eyes of the rest of the world. Honest to God. Putin is a strong leader, for example. I think Donald Trump would be a strong leader, because he's decisive. That's what America wants. They don't want some wavering pussy like the President of the United States is today. So I think he'd be a great leader. I think that nations around the world would respect us, finally. And it's about time. I think he's kind of old school, which I like, personally.
Sound like Gary Johnson a little bit. Gary Johnson used that term as well to describe other people. But ultimately, in the landscape in this election, it's one of the most interesting election years that we are going through. How do you see it unfolding? A lot of people have Hillary pinned because she's so tied in with the establishment, so tied in with all the social media organizations, so tied in with the mainstream media as well, and just the establishment. And then also, an important fact about Hillary, she also has another kind of nonprofit in Canada where she doesn't even have to disclose all the donors, and that's the biggest donor to the Hillary Clinton campaign, but she publicly even announces that Saudi Arabia finances her. So she has everything in an establishment kind of going for her. Is this truly an establishment, anti-establishment race?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think, and I hope I'm wrong, I think that Donald Trump loses, because I don't trust the system, I don't trust our government, I don't trust big money in politics. So I think I was one of the first people probably to come out with, it was a bombshell video at the time, basically with that title, Donald Trump Loses, in 2016, because I think it's more of a reality TV show, House of Cards situation, than it is a real political landscape in Washington, D.C. today. I don't trust anything about our government. I think it's totally corrupt. If we had a real government, Hillary Clinton would be in jail. She would have been prosecuted by Loretta Lynch. You know, the FBI director, Comey, wouldn't have laid down. He would have brought charges. She would have been heard in a court of law, and if found guilty, she'd be in pound-me-in-the-ass prison. Whereas that's exactly where her husband should be, by the way, who lied on the stand, said he did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, and he committed a felony lying on the stand. Now, if I did that, I'd be in jail, but not the Clinton Eastwood clan. I think that they think they have a divine right in this country to be in Washington, D.C. forever. I don't agree with it. I think that's why we need change. That's why Americans are pissed off. That's why they're going the way of Trump, which is anti-political establishment. There's a difference between political establishment and corporate establishment.
There was no classified emails on that server, and it goes on and on and on. But I think she's so bad that she's pushing people towards Trump, and I think it's still too early to call Trump whether he's truly anti-establishment or truly not. Will he do the bidding of the people? Will he do the bidding for his personal self? We will see as everything develops in this election year. Any other closing comments you have just about what's happening with Trump, what's happening with this election? We're, in the middle of the RNC, DNC's coming up. It's a wild, wild show out there.
Yeah, probably Turkey, which is the latest breaking news development, which we just interviewed you a few minutes ago. I thought you gave a great analysis of it. We're still breaking it down. I see instinctually this is a very big geopolitical move. Now, I think there's a buildup to war. I think we're already engaged in a war. We see this politically, economically. We see it in the Middle East. We see it in Syria. We saw it with the, indirect assassination of Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, the Obama gun running, something Hillary Clinton was a part of. And what do we have in the Middle East today? 500,000 people dead, civilians slaughtered in places like Syria. We have more bloodshed, more terrorism, more events like Nice. That's why I think people are going the way of Trump, and I think he's right about Islamic radicalism. We should shut down the borders today.
Christopher Green, AMTV, check him out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is he establishment? Is he not establishment? Will you vote for him? Will you not? What do you love? What do you hate? I want to know. Seriously, I really don't know. To be honest, from my perspective, subscribe. We're going to have a lot more content coming here your way on youtube.com/wearechange.